10 steps ahead. TGBU talk, yeah, yeah. TGBU talk, yeah, yeah. TGBU talk, yeah, yeah. TGBU talk, yeah, yeah.
So you've seen Twin Minutes, finish that extra large popcorn during the credits, and now you're left with one burning question. What did I just watch? And you're not alone. Online forums are buzzing. Fan theories are sprawling out in every direction, which, let's be real, is half the fun of a film like this. Twin Minutes throws us curveball after curveball. That car crash, the mystery surrounding Omar and Ahmed, the whole Ice Cube Manny situation. I gotta say, you weren't kidding about going down the rabbit hole with those Twin Minutes theories. We're talking some serious, like, next-level analysis here. And I am so here for it.
It's amazing, though, right? I mean, it really shows you how this film, like, gets under your skin. You know,
right.
It's just the ending alone has people debate. I swear, like, it's some big philosophical thing.
Seriously. And you found some really interesting stuff out there, especially about that car crash, which, let's be real, it's like the moment in the whole movie. But did anyone actually even die? You mentioned a theory, something about the crash being staged.
Yeah.
And not just by one of the twins, but by both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so tell me more about that, because wow.
Well, think about it. The whole movie plays with this duality thing, this whole mirroring thing, right? So this theory basically says the twins just took that idea, that concept, to, like, the extreme. It's like they decided, we're going to control the narrative, even if it means, you know, faking our own deaths.
Okay, so let's break that down a little. The source mentioned some dialogue from early on where the twins talk about, like, starting over or ending it all.
Yeah.
Do you think that was, like, the filmmakers dropping us a hint, or people just, like, reading too much into it?
It's tough to say for sure. But, I mean, they were definitely being intentional about, like, every little thing in this film. You remember those glasses?
Oh, yeah.
The ones left at the crash site?
Yeah.
Was that just, like, a random prop? Or was it, you know, put there on purpose to make us question everything?
See, that's what I mean. It's like every little thing becomes this huge question mark.
If Omar and Ahmed orchestrated that crash, it becomes a story about deception on a whole other level, suddenly. They're not just twins with a complicated past. They're master manipulators, pulling the strings from the very beginning.
Which makes you question literally everything.
Right,
like, were those glasses left behind deliberately? Was the whole who survived question a massive red herring?
Exactly.
This seemingly insignificant moment that makes you hit rewind. And then you add in the whole Ice Cube Manny theory to all this.
Right.
And suddenly, I don't know what's real anymore. You got to admit, though, his character just makes the whole thing even more interesting.
100%. Manny's become like this mythical figure in the Twin Minutes world, but no one can agree on what his deal is.
Right.
It's like some people are convinced he's the one in control, like pulling all the strings.
The puppet master.
Exactly. But then you've got others who think he's actually a tragic figure. Like, maybe he was actually trying to help the twins, but it all just went sideways.
Oh, see, now that's interesting. You think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time? Maybe? Like, maybe he saw the crash coming and tried to stop it, but just made everything worse.
Yeah. And this is where that Twin Minutes, the untold story thing from the source comes in.
Okay, yeah.
Like, are we finally going to get some real answers about Manny?
Oh, man.
Who he is, what his deal is, or are they just going to hit us with more questions?
Part of me hopes they don't explain everything. I mean, half the fun of this movie is arguing about what it all means, you know?
Right.
And then there's that blink and you'll miss it moment in the credits, that I win message that flashes on screen for a single frame. I mean, come on. What was that about? Was it Omar, Ahmed, or someone else entirely? Some unseen player in this whole twisted game?
Oh, that I win frame. It's such a head scratcher. But also so Azrin, like, he dropped this tiny little bomb in the middle of the credits, and now everyone's scrambling for an explanation. It's like, wait. Who won? What does it even mean?
Exactly. It's like that one line calls into question the entire movie. Was this a game all along? If someone won, then who was playing?
And who were the pawns?
And the theories are wild. I mean, we've got everything from secret societies controlling the twins to, well, even time loops.
It's like he tapped into this primal need we have to make sense of things, even when those things seem completely nonsensical.
Which, let's be real, it's kind of the beauty of Twin Minutes.
Exactly. It doesn't give you easy answers. It forces you to sit with the unknown, to embrace the mystery.
And maybe even question your own sanity a little bit along the way.
Maybe.
But hey, that's all part of the fun.
Absolutely.
Speaking of mysteries, can we talk about that KFC scene? Everyone's just casually munching on fried chicken. But there's this underlying tension.
Before everything goes sideways.
And that's what makes it so effective. It's not just a random scene. It's a carefully constructed moment of foreshadowing, a subtle hint at the chaos to come.
Okay, so if we're going with the theory that the KFC scene is foreshadowing, what does that mean for the bigger picture?
Well, some fans believe it's a hint that the twins' story is cyclical, that they're trapped in some kind of time loop.
Okay, so they're doomed to repeat the same tragic events over and over again.
That's one interpretation. Others believe it's more about the psychological state of the characters, that the KFC scene represents their desperate attempt to cling to normalcy, even as their world is crumbling around them. And then there's the simulation theory, which takes things to a whole other level. This is where it gets really meta. The simulation theory, the idea that none of what we saw in Twin Minutes actually happened.
Right, at least not in the way that we understand reality.
It's like this weird fever dream in the middle of everything.
It's so bizarre, right? Like the most normal thing in the world, just a family eating fried chicken, but the way they filmed it, the music, the vibe, everything feels off, like a glitch in the Matrix or something.
Right. And one theory you found said that maybe that means we're like seeing everything through the lens of an unreliable narrator. What if it's all like a delusion or something?
Exactly. Whoa. What if the whole rivalry, the car crash, even Ice Cube Manny, it was all in one of the twins' heads in that KFC scene?
Yeah.
Maybe that's them like trapped in that delusion.
Okay, now that is a chilling thought.
And it kind of makes you think about that whole simulation theory, right?
Oh yeah, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. Like, what if that I win message is proof that the world of Twin Minutes isn't what it seems?
Whoa. Okay, so like a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
So then the big question is like, if it is a simulation, do the characters have any real choices?
Right. Do they have free will? Or is everything already decided?
Are Omar and Ahmed really making their own choices? Or are they just pawns in some elaborate game?
Exactly. And if they are just pawns, who's controlling them?
Is it Ice Cube Manny? Or is there some even higher power at play?
That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
Which, in a way, is kind of the point. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it like that. Were they, like, actually in control of their destiny? Or were they always headed for that crash, no matter what?
Exactly.
Okay, my brain needs a minute to process all of this.
Yes.
But, okay, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
You pointed out a connection between that I win message and that weird KFC scene.
Oh, yeah.
And it seemed kind of random at first, but now I think I get it.
Right. I mean, on the surface, they seem totally unrelated, right? You got this cryptic message, and then you've got this whole, like, family dinner thing. But what if they're both saying the same thing, just in different ways?
Okay, so you're saying the KFC scene, it's not just like a random, meaningless thing.
What if it has a deeper meaning?
Okay, I'm listening.
Remember that theory about the KFC scene being like one twin's delusion?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if it's even deeper than that? What if it's really a commentary on, like, us?
Us.
Yeah. Like, we're the ones watching the movie, trying to figure it all out. We're looking for answers, for someone to tell us who wins, but...
But what if there's nothing to get?
Exactly. Like, what if the filmmakers are messing with us?
Because we all want answers so badly.
Yeah, and they're giving us these moments, these, like, clues or whatever, but they're not giving us any real answers. And it's driving us crazy. And that's the point.
So they're holding up a mirror to the audience. It's like they're saying, look at yourselves. You're all searching for meaning in this chaos.
Exactly.
Which, I gotta say, is pretty meta commentary on, like, art in general.
100%. Twin Minutes, it's not just telling us a story. It's making us think about how we tell stories and how we see the world, you know? Sure. It's making us question everything, even our own sanity.
And you know what? I mean, it really makes you think. Like, the movie itself is a deep dive, you know, challenging us to find those hidden layers and everything. And you've definitely, like, gone deep with this one.
Well, how could you not? Every time you think you've got it figured out, Twin Minutes throws something else at you. Yeah. But that's what I love about it, you know? It keeps you coming back for more.
Totally. It's like this feeling of, I gotta know more. Even if the answers just lead to more questions. So after all of this, the car crash, the KFC thing, Ice Cube Manny, what's, like, your biggest takeaway? What really stuck with you?
You know, it's funny. For me, it's not really about any one theory. It's more about how many different ways people see this movie. Like, it proves that art can start all these conversations, these debates. It can even make you a little obsessed in a good way.
So true. And I bet those conversations are going to keep going, like, long after we're done here. Speaking of We usually like to leave our listeners with, a little something to think about, a challenge. But I feel like you've already done that for us. So instead, tell me which theory out of all of them, really clicked with you.
And hey, don't be afraid to think outside the box, okay? Did we even scratch the surface with that I win message? There are so many possibilities. We're all in this together trying to crack the code.
Exactly. Head over to our social media. Let's talk about it. The best part about a movie like Twin Minutes is the deep dive never really ends. It just gets more and more interesting the deeper you go.
Absolutely.
It's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll, and I have a feeling we'll still be talking about it for years to come.
Oh, I have no doubt about that.
So all you deep divers out there, keep those theories coming, keep those online forums buzzing, because honestly, the mystery is half the fun.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we've earned ourselves another bucket of that extra crispy KFC. Until next time, happy theorizing.
Yeah, you heard what we said. You know we the best. You know what the deal is, cause we 10 steps ahead. TGBU talk. Yeah.